Hi, welcome back. Our apologies, we had some technical issues over here, but we are live, and I want to take a moment to welcome you to this guided meditation practice with Acharya Dan Hessey. My name is Ashley Dinges, and I'm the Director of Development here at Shambhala, New York City, and I'm joining you live from the New York Shambhala Center today. I'm really excited to welcome you to this guided meditation with Acharya Hessey. He will be joining us from Boulder, Colorado, where he's at the Boulder Shambhala Center today. And we're lucky to have Acharya Hessey leading these 30-minute meditation practices every Monday evening leading up to our urban retreat here in New York City in August, which he will be leading. And that is August 19th to the 26th here in New York. It's a full week-tune retreat, and you can learn more about that. We're going to post the link in the chat box to the right, and the link is also ny.shambhala.org/urban-retreat-2016. So we hope you'll check that out and join us for more of these meditation practices each Monday evening. If you have a question for Acharya Hessey, he will be taking a limited number of questions at the end of this guided practice, so you're welcome to submit those via the chat box on the right-hand side of the screen, and it can be anything about the retreat or the practice. So with all that said, I would like to welcome Acharya Hessey and turn it over to you.
Welcome, everybody. I'm delighted to be here, and I'm imagining you all. You're all figments of my imagination because I can't see you, and you can see me, so that's the nature of the electronic relationship. But nonetheless, we can share a half hour today and make a connection with meditation practice. Quite frankly, meditation practice means an awful lot of different things to different people. Some people think it's a way of concentration that's going to give them sort of superpowers, super intellectual powers. It can optimize their performance in their life. And other people see meditation as a way of opening up their heart or following a path, in our case, a Buddhist or Shambhala path. And other people see it as a way of experiencing pleasure or bliss. So all of these goals are found in various meditation practices. But the one that we're going to work with as we approach our week of meditation in New York is meditation to make friends with ourselves. What do I mean by that? Making friends with ourselves, you could think of that on lots of different levels, but really a lot of how we experience who and what we are, we feel like it's almost as if we have a personal immune reaction to the present moment, to not having anything to do, to being bored or being without an occupation. And if we look at our lives, we see that that has a powerful, powerful influence on how we experience ourselves, that we're always looking to be doing something, looking at our iPhone or a television or going somewhere or thinking about something. And it also has a very powerful effect on how we experience the people we're close to, in that we're constantly looking for stimulus. It's hard for us just to be. So one of the things that Sakyong Mipam Rinpoche, my teacher and the head of the Shambhala tradition, has said is that a lot of the suffering and strife of the present age is because people don't know how to simply be. So when we understand that our sort of uncomfortableness with just being simply who we are, just being in the present moment without trying to accomplish anything, is actually pushing us around in our life, is constantly making us look for occupations or be trying to achieve something, never able to peacefully abide, actually just be in the present moment, we start to understand the motivation for the kind of meditation we're going to be doing. So in a sense, you could say it lets us out trying to achieve some special state. We're not trying to get rid of all our thoughts. We're not trying to have some special experience, but we're trying to meet ourselves halfway, you might say, with a sense of decency and openness. When we meet ourselves that way, a lot of creative things can happen. mostly what happens is that we can actually feel our hearts better. So let's just take a couple of minutes, and we're going to start with that process. We're going to actually sit with each other, and I'm going to give a very simple instruction that's not technical or complicated. And each of us can, with a sense of curiosity and interest, open up to this way of being with ourselves with an immense sense of friendliness, of inquisitiveness about what's it like when I'm not pushing myself around. So we're going to talk about this in three parts. The first part is going to be about how to hold your body. And the second part is going to be about how to be with your sense of being alive. And that quality is going to have to do with our breath. And then the third part is to what to do with all that stuff that's going on in terms of our thoughts and emotions. So we're going to do each one. We're going to start with body, and we're going to just start with that instruction. You don't have to worry about thinking, and you don't have to worry about placing your attention on anything. Just sit up straight. It doesn't have to be a military kind of straight, but it's a sense of being right in your body. And we're going to explore that together a little bit. When you sit up straight, hopefully you have a firm chair or a cushion. But wherever you are, you could sit on the edge of your chair if you're in a chair. The idea, your spine is straight and your head is balanced gently on top of it. And there's a quality of being like, you could say it's like there's a pole between the earth and the sky, and you're right, that pole is right in the center. Take a big breath. So now we're going to take a couple of minutes and just see how you feel. Allow yourself to feel how you feel. So if you feel jumpy, allow yourself to feel that way. If you feel sleepy, that's fine. If you feel your body, that's great. Feel how it feels to just sit up straight and be present. Here we go. You can feel your breath going in and out. You can feel your weight on your chair or cushion. Your hands can rest very naturally on your thighs, depending on what your sitting situation is. And along with your body, you can see what you see and hear what you hear. Very simply. I can hear a clock ticking and the air conditioner going, the light in the room. We're just simply being here. Now, very gently, let your attention mix with your breath. Don't worry about your thoughts. They have plenty of room up there to run around in circles or think about this and that. But just bring your attention very gently to your breath, going in and out. As you gradually settle down, you realize the breath is a big world. It goes all the way from the bottom of your tummy out into the room. It's a big journey. It involves your whole body. So being present isn't a struggle, it's already there. And as we feel our body and our breath, our sense perceptions also are more present. So our thoughts are constantly coming up, but they're not actually in the way. We don't have to try and get rid of our thoughts, which is a little too extreme. But when we get pulled way down the pike with some replaying something happened during the day or thinking about where you're going to be for dinner, you just relax back into feeling your breath. You sort of acknowledge, oh, I was really lost in thought there. But it's not like, oh, I was messing up. It's just a natural process. So the thoughts are like waves on the ocean. And if you're in a little boat with a sail, sometimes those waves sort of get you going in the wrong direction, you might say, and you just push the tiller back and all of a sudden you're fine. You're right there, back home in the present moment. But the thoughts aren't working against you. They're just the natural environment you're in. It's great to meditate with your eyes open so you really feel like you're in the room. You're really present. You're not having an interior experience or an exterior experience. You're just present in the room, hearing, smelling, seeing, tasting, and feeling is all naturally awake. It's already awake. You don't have to wake it up. Good. That's great. So I'd welcome some questions or discussion, and then at the end we'll do another little mini sit after we've had a chance to talk with each other a little bit. So I invite you to type in or ask a question, however it works best.
We have a question from Carly, and she's wondering what tips you might have for someone who's new to meditation practice?
Yes, Carly, every person is different, but everybody benefits from two qualities, gentleness and inquisitiveness. That the metaphor for meditation is like you're taming a wild horse. That for most of us, we've either been really strict with ourselves in a way that scared the horse and made it really shy, that we don't trust our mind, or our mind has been like all over the place. So the idea is that if you start with a fundamental sense of friendliness and warmth, that the idea is not to fix yourself, but to make friends with something that is inherently awake, inherently good, but you haven't gotten to know it very well yet. That's great. And the way you're friendly is you're inquisitive. So it's not like saying, oh, I got lost in thought, I messed up again. How about saying, oh, that's what it feels like to get lost in thought. I never really felt that whole process before. So that quality of inquisitiveness and gentleness provides a natural way in. So your meditation practice is something you want to do as opposed to something you should do. I wish I'd gotten that advice a little earlier in my path. It would have been a lot easier. I hope that's helpful, Carly.
We're also wondering, a lot of the people who are watching this or who will be watching the archive of this later are actually participating in the retreat with you here in New York City. And I'm wondering if you could give them an overview of what they might experience in a typical day if they haven't done a retreat like this before.
Well, I thought we'd do it with complete strictness, no food, no walking, and no fun. Do you think that'll work? No. Okay. Maybe another approach is that we're really going to create a community. There'll be people of all different levels of experience joining us. So we want to create a diverse community that is really accommodating. And I'm going to lead the retreat, but all of us are going to take part in creating that community. In other words, everybody counts. It's not like you're sitting there and you just listen and do what you're told, but actually it's an interactive process where we're introduced to meditation if we're new, or we're sort of coached or guided if we have more experience. And all of us are taking part in our individual journey, but we also have a group journey where we find that sitting with other people wakes us up in ways that we don't wake up when we're just sitting with ourselves. And that means everybody counts. And it's not a matter of how perfect you can be, but it is a matter of having a smile on your face and a sense of openness to taking a journey with other people to make friends with yourself in a fundamental way. So that's a little general, but we'll have meditation sessions of various lengths and talks, individual interviews. We'll have breaks and meals, obviously, and we'll have group discussion as well. So it's more than just sitting there, though there's going to be plenty of sitting there, but there's also the kind of human context that allows us to learn from each other and share our experience with each other.
And along those lines, another question that we've had come up is, what types of support are in place for people who might be new to meditation at the retreat, as far as having instruction from you and from meditation instructors and so on?
So the good part about this kind of retreat is you're going to have a real human being to talk to. So obviously we'll have group meditation instruction and group discussions to provide the context and the instruction so you know what we're doing, and that will progress throughout the week. But you're also going to have an opportunity to speak one-on-one and sometimes two-on-one or, small groups with experienced meditators like myself and other people who will be on staff, so that you can actually ask personal questions about how it's working for you. What we found is, while there are common themes in learning to meditate. It's not a homogenized experience. It's not the same for everybody. So that quality of being able to talk with another human and explore together and feel a sense of support really helps you feel confident that you can ride this horse, so to speak. You know, you might not be an experienced rider, but we're going to help you up into the saddle, and you're going to find that, oh, this isn't so bad, actually. I can do this.
And I think we have one last one, which was submitted before, and that was, is there any way that you would recommend to prepare in advance for the retreat?
Well, it depends a lot on who you are. But I will say it's completely appropriate to come fresh and cold. In other words, there's nothing that you have to do to be able to do this retreat completely. You can just walk in the door, and it's designed to provide all those supports. I would recommend, if you're interested, to read some of Sakyong Mipam's books, because a lot of the language, you know, we're a Shambhala tradition, and a lot of the language we'll be using and the ideas we'll be using, you'll find there, and that might be helpful to be able to contemplate that a little bit and see what we're up to. Turning the mind into an ally, and ruling your world, and the Shambhala principle, those 3 books, as well as running with the mind of meditation if you're a runner. So any of those books, if you dip into those, I think you'll sort of get a flavor of where we're coming from and where we're going. That's great. But if you're really busy and you don't have time to do that, that's not a problem. If you already have a meditation practice, it's always great to do that regularly, so you feel like you're really in touch with what you're doing when you arrive. But again, this retreat is designed so that you can come as you are. You don't have to feel like you're missing anything when you come as you are, however that is. And then we'll provide the support you need, hopefully in an individual manner as well as for the group as a whole, so that you have a genuine and 3D useful personal experience.
And we just got one more question before I spoke too soon, and it's exciting because it's from our friend Tracy in Canada, who joined us on the Datun last year at Karma Choling. So hi, Tracy. It's good to see you. And she says that it's good to hear your laugh, Acharya Hessey. Her question is, she can do about 10 minutes of meditation 2 times a day. She says, when I try to increase, it feels good, but gets rigid, and I stop meditating completely for a few weeks. Should I just stick to 10 minutes?
Yes, stick to 10 minutes for the time being, absolutely. And, you know, there's this sense of we're very shy about ourselves, in fact. And so this metaphor of the horse is great. If you pull too hard on the rope, the horse freezes up. So there's that sense of patience and love and curiosity that 10 minutes a day, that's great. And eventually the horse says, oh, this is not so bad, and does every time it gets. So we have to have that sense of humor. So just pushing often is contraindicated. You think, well, no matter how tough it is, I'm going to do it. Well, let's not start that way. Eventually, there may come a time where we really want to exert ourselves that way, but let's not do that now. Let's do it in a way that feels real and friendly and good. So I want to thank you all for joining us and encourage you to be in touch with the Shambhala Center in New York and participate either for the whole retreat or on a daily basis, however it works for you all. And I'm really looking forward to being there in the flesh rather than electronically. And it's not that far away, and we'll have a chance to see each other on following Mondays as we approach the program. So we'll have more to talk about as the time comes. So a very good evening to you, and we'll see you soon.